contumacious blue belly issued mighty oaths when ordered to dislodge the Secesh from their redan. Some people hearing a sentence like that might think that they're listening to gibberish or even a foreign language, but people who study the Civil War know that that sentence means something to the effect of a disobedient Union soldier used bad words when ordered to drive Confederate soldiers away from their fortification. And 19th century Americans used a wide variety of terms that might seem strange to us. Apprehend can mean comprehend. Terrific can sometimes mean terrible. If something is doable, it's often called practicable. People would often send orders but then say, with my compliments. They could use the term sanguine to mean they were confident of something or that something bloody was happening. People often abbreviated their first names. Jonathan is J-N-O, William is W-M. When troops were tired, they were often fagged out, and when they were talking about the 15th of this month, they would say 15th instant. When you are marching toward an engagement and you are in the front, you are in the van. Your colors would be flying. Those are your flags. And then the ball would open, or you would see the elephant as the battle started. You might march by a Parrot Cannon. You'll see a cannon with a wrought iron reinforcement band around the breech called a Parrot. Some of those cannons might actually be masked behind a hill. If you have a fake cannon, a log that looks like a cannon, that's a Quaker gun. And as you move across the field towards your enemy, you might hope that they have their flank in the air. The end of your line is called your flank, and you are going to try to outflank them. If their flank is in the air, it means that it is not connected to or protected by anything else. If an enemy is trying to outflank you, meaning to get around your line, you might refuse your line, meaning bend it back like the 17th Maine did here in the wheat field at Gettysburg. As you get toward the enemy's fortification, you might encounter abattis, pointy branches with trees felled towards you and sometimes entangled with telegraph wire. As you get to their fortifications, you might encounter a redoubt, that's a full fort, or a lunette, a demi-lune, half-moon-shaped fortification. And in a perfect world, you were going to force that enemy to run away, which was often then called skedaddle. If you did well enough, if you are a colonel, you might be breveted to brigadier general. An honorary rank is a brevet. If you do well in a battle, people might write about you in a very 19th century way. You might have performed with alacrity and impetuosity, the cheerful readiness, or the reckless bravery needed for battle. Strangely, back then, if you went into a dangerous place, they would brag about you that you recklessly exposed yourself. It doesn't mean quite that today. Back then, it was a term of bravery. And ultimately, they might say, bully for you, huzzah for you, or they might say that your brain is possessed of a great military sagacity, a clearness of mind. But I think some of the best Civil War words are the derisive words meant for things or people. Something poorly made is shoddy. If you have lice on you, they could be called graybacks. If you don't do your duty, you might be called a shirker, someone who shirks his duty. Or, if you're John Pope, the Robert E. Lee might actually call you a miscreant, somebody who behaves poorly. And soldiers loved to deride their dried vegetables, known as desiccated vegetables, as so bad that they were actually desecrated vegetables. The stuff of war might be called materiel, sounding almost just like material, but it has EL instead of AL. The stuff the soldiers carried might be called accoutrement or accoutrements. They wore brogans for shoes. If what they wore was sort of a brownish color, it was butternut. Their hats were kepis. When Union soldiers spent paper money, they were called greenbacks. And when you went with your friend, he might be called your pard, and you might eat with him, and that is your mess. So when you first start reading about the Civil War, keep a dictionary nearby because things are not always what they seem.